The 31st of December, 2024. 20 hours left. A video would be premiered on this channel. As the video premieres, the chat lights up with a single line that feels like a warning. Hello, Mr. X. There are 3 videos that I need to take down from you. Who is this guy? Well, yyyy is a popular statistic YouTuber. Just days ago, this guy named himself in a controversy with another YouTuber known as Jip Stats. A conflict began as he launched false copyright strikes to Jip, then soon to other content creators. I was next. For further context, I uploaded a video titled The Controversial Return of the Fake Subscriber Count World, a 5-minute video where I called him out for his actions. In the middle of the video, I included some of his content as a background footage, which was perfectly legal. I even did it for my other videos, but he didn't see it in that way. He was upset, and he's gonna do everything in his power to delete my channel. The situation exploded, and hours later, Ivan dropped his response. According to him, he claimed that we hadn't asked for our permission and he was just protecting his videos from content theft. But the community quickly turned against him, and even popular figures had spoken out. Within a short amount of time, his reputation was ruined, and yyyy had quit because of the pressure. What's interesting was the 55-page document that was made against him, tackling some of his issues such as using his depression as a way to get sympathy during arguments, his statements about Ukraine, and being homophobic. This was a sign that the stats community as we know it was starting to fall apart. The stats community is officially dead, and I realized this when I was searching for Train Analytics, only to find out that he's retired from posting. So I looked up on other people, and most of them haven't posted a long-form video in months. And when I was going through all of that searching, I noticed something. Why does every stat content nowadays needs to be very long? Back in my day, stat videos used to be 1 minute, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes long. Nowadays it's 10 minutes. Now you might be saying, oh, just, put it at 2x speed. Okay, you might be right, but like, why do I have to set the speed for myself? Like, can't they just do that? And apparently there's a reason for this. In order for your work to be pushed to a lot of people, it needs to be 8 minutes long for ads and watch time, which, I respect that you're feeding your family, but let's be honest here. Look me dead in the eyes and tell me, would you really sit here and watch a zombie video for 1 hour? 1 hour? What the f do you need to show for that to be an hour, bro? Why is it an entire movie length? Like, what the f are we actually doing, bro? And I know this is such a small issue, but seeing these videos that are like 15 minutes long kind of seems like you're wasting everyone's time. It feels like you don't value or respect your audience because these could have been shortened out by a lot. It doesn't add any sort of commentary to justify the length. It doesn't matter how detailed are these when not everyone's gonna appreciate all of that. I get that it's a visualization. I get that not everything has to be an overly edited mess. I mean, the entire point of it is to showcase data for archival purposes, but damn! Y'all gotta chill out! I mean, there's an option to click off, but why make it unnecessarily long? You see, this entire trend started out 3 years ago, and I wanted to prove that you don't need to do all of this. So I posted this one. It's a shitty, bitch-ass 1-minute video of a sub-count squishing like a pile of shit. Like, it's not even that good. And it got 8,000 views. Like, you don't need to do this. It's not a standard. And people just pretend that it is. So, yeah, make videos shorter. It's pretty clear that the stats community has a problem with oversaturation. And I used to think that the content itself was getting repetitive.
People are just milking Mr. B.
But if you think about it, that argument doesn't really make sense because you could watch anything and get bored out of it. But I think it's important to identify one of the factors behind the repetition effect. Saying that it's because people keep milking the Mr. Beast topics would be an ordinary take. It's true, but there's more to that. Look at the top 15 most subscribed channels. You probably never even heard some of these, and yet they're just here. With the rise of YouTube Shorts, it's very easy for someone to reach a certain milestone, but it often makes it harder to build a long-lasting emotional connection between the audience and the creator. Some of these are companies from other countries, which only applies for a certain demographics. You can make a video on Kim Pro and get 10,000 views, but do you even know who Kim Pro really is? Hence, that's why most people do things that already works. It's an unfortunate problem we're facing that involves attachment to celebrities like Mr. Beast, with his remarkable growth in YouTube statistics that is very, very hard to ignore, and engagement, which is getting thousands of views with minimal effort. The 9/11 incident that happened in STA, or the Statistic Assembly, has probably one of the most entertaining dramas that I've ever witnessed for a while.
Pissed, a merger with STA somehow pinged everyone, telling them to use their voices.
And it perfectly represents the reputation of every single drama that has ever happened in this community. The STA was one of the biggest statistic Discord server that was even competing with other big servers, but it collapsed because of the selfishness and the childish behavior from the original owner, Jip. A pretty familiar face. It has a very long history that one of the former owners even made a 2-hour documentary discussing the entire timeline of the server. Long story short, the original owner, Jip, wanted to take over the server from John and Solar, the current owners at the time, because he felt like the purpose and the meaning he had created was slowly drifting away. But he did it in the worst way possible, that quite literally everyone in the server hated him. Even his loyal moderators and partners turned against him because his plan fell under extreme dictatorship. The entire thing is really messy, and I recommend that you watch Solar's video for full context. But the reason I brought this up is because dramas in the stats community have always been this immature. The STA drama is an example of how everything could have been avoided and talked out if Jip simply did not organize a forceful attack against the innocent that resulted him damaging his public image. That's how everything went. People would start a conflict over something small, and in the end, no one really wins. In the past, I had people asking me to cover a certain drama. I take a look at them, they're not even entertaining to make something out of it. Like, most of them are really stupid. And dude, I don't want to be a drama channel, so that's why I just stopped making them. In 2025, several people were exposed for many different reasons. Some were serious and confirmed, like the case for HEXZD, a 24-year-old guy who manipulated a 17-year-old girl into exchanging explicit materials. In the past, he served prison time for assaulting a firefighter officer. But in this case of dating an underage girl, the case remained to be unnoticed by the authorities. And Tobian, an active member around the community who confessed into doing things with his 7-year-old sister. But there's also some cases that remained a mystery. A guy by the name of Mort from the YouTube Battle server made this list of all predators that were caught in their community. People were begging me to cover these topics, and there's a problem when it comes to these situations. Most of these informations are announced either from a single random Discord server or through anonymous announcements that doesn't really go anywhere. So like, I can't make something out of it because, well, it's not properly documented. Some of these cases are from years ago and the evidence are most likely gone now. Now, when I talked about the Mr. Herobrine case about 2 years ago, a lot have been expecting me to make a video similar to that, and honestly, I was even working on a draft for a script that was several pages long. But while I was writing the script, I felt really uncomfortable at even looking at the evidence, and it just felt like I didn't want to create this video. I don't think I have the capability of documenting them in a right and professional way. This is not just self-doubt, we're talking about cases that goes against real criminal law. This is way more than just watching a bunch of numbers behind the screens, and there's even a chance that I might get sued if some of the evidence turned out to be fake. So if I post something, I feel like I have a huge responsibility to fact-check everything. And I can't do that when there's no official documents or timeline! So yeah, just make a Google Doc out of everything so everybody has access to it. I don't know if I can continue to make stats commentary videos again. Channels like Ivan have an effect on the type of things that you're watching because there would be a time where I would need to use a clip to explain something. If one of them even struck me down, like, it's over, bro. Controversies like the ones we have discussed are also one of the reasons I may not make as much videos on stats community anymore because they're all negative. And generally, I just don't want to turn stats community into a negative place because it's just a bunch of nerds that have hobbies and there's really nothing wrong with that. I think it's pretty clear why people have drifted. You might be thinking it's because of life, or that we're getting old, and while those answers are definitely not wrong, compared to other sub-communities on YouTube, this place is practically non-existent. It used to be big, but people are still doing PewDiePie vs. T-Series reports 6 years after it has already ended. And maybe the stats community did not end in a dramatic way. It quietly burned itself down.